Hey everybody, Jeremy here with a look at Wave 2 of Hasbro's Marvel Legends Avengers Wave for this year. This is based on a lot of MCU characters from Infinity War's looks and a couple of comic book characters. Okay, first we have WASP from the upcoming Ant-Man and Wasp movie. Her wings can fold in to her backpack on her back, or it comes with a separate backpack that you can use without the wings. One of the things that you will notice about this figure is that its arms are incredibly brittle. Mine almost broke coming out of the package, so you want to be careful taking this one out. There is a helmeted head that's interchangeable, along with the incredible likeness of Evangeline Lilly, and you can see that right there. They're doing their new face portrait technology on a lot of these figures, so you're going to get some pretty cool likenesses, including Mr. Paul Rudd, Scott Lang himself. The Ant-Man figure is a pretty basic figure, just a kind of a guy in a suit. It's really well articulated, however. I like that, like the Wasp figure, comes with a separate helmet head, and obviously since they have this technology now, you're going to get more non-helmeted versions of head scans in some of these figures. Pretty basic figure. If you have the original Ant-Man, you're okay, unless you want this head sculpt. He's got that cool smirk there, so good figure. Nothing spectacular, but solid. This is the standout figure from the whole wave for me. We have Black Widow, an incredible Scarlett Johansson face portrait there, and she's got her batons. She's really easy to pose. She's not as top heavy as you would think she'd be with the vest and everything, which doesn't come off. That's the only downside, but even if it did, I mean, this is spot on from the movie. The blonde hair kind of throws you off at first too, but it matches the figure really well. It's just, they really nailed it. I was thinking that this figure might be okay, but it's definitely my figure of the entire wave. Moving on from there, we have one more regular MCU figure, and this one I'm going to have to move the camera up for. We have Thor. This is Thor from the end of the film. Obviously, he has Stormbreaker there. I will say that it's really hard for him to get a good grip on the Stormbreaker and keep it in his hand in certain poses when you're lifting his arms. Other than that, the figure's great. It's a great buck. The joints are really stiff. It's really easy to pose him and get him to stand, especially with this cape, which you would think topple him over like it has in the past. This facial scan for Chris Hemsworth is way better in person than it looks in either pictures or video. I'm sure you can see here that it's pretty awesome, but in person there's a lot of detail in his eyes. So this is probably the Thor figure to own from the movie, especially since it comes with Stormbreaker. Next, we have the two comic figures. One is a repaint of the San Diego Comic-Con MALEKITH from the Mighty Thor box set from last year. This is a more classically painted version of the Dark Elf. It's a good figure. When I reviewed it before, it's the same exact figure, so you don't get a lot in the way of accessories. Just a really solid looking figure for your Thor collection and your Thor shelves if you need it. And you didn't get the box set. The last figure of the wave is one we need to talk about for a second, because it was the surprise of the wave for me, and that is the Black Knight. If I can get him to stand, there we go. Now this figure comes with 3 head sculpts, so you can have literally every version of Black Knight that has ever appeared in a Marvel comic. That's a really cool feature. They don't usually go that far, but Marvel Legends has been killing it this year, and frankly going back to last year, and they're really, really servicing fans with these figures now, and this is no different. I had no desire to have a Black Knight in my collection, really. I've always liked him, but it was never important to me, and this is just the best Black Knight figure you could ever hope for. If you collect them all, you get this guy, CULL OBSIDIAN, and I'm gonna have to show you guys this figure by moving this, because he is massive. one of the biggest Build-A-Figures you can have I've ever seen in these Marvel Legends waves. So much detail. It's the MCU version. It has some differences from the screen, but it's not terribly inaccurate. There's the head sculpt when he comes back around there. It's bigger than Thanos. It's bigger than Proxima Midnight. He's about as bulky as Juggernaut was in the X-Men wave from a couple of years ago. So, to give you an idea of how big he is, I mean, he is massive. Here he is next to Black Widow. So, I mean, that's a big figure. That's like 2 or 3 figures, and you get that just for buying the whole wave. So, and that's the Marvel Legends Avengers Wave 2 wave. All 6 figures are great. It's better than the first wave overall. You can find them now hitting stores like GameStop and Walmart and Target. Not Toys R Us anymore, unfortunately. There's online ordering from Entertainment Earth, Dorkside Toys, everywhere else you order your figures from. And until next time, we'll see you later.